Hello. Yeah, welcome to another podcast episode. I'm sure you must be thinking what this episode is actually about. Such a title. Such a title, like how to unfuck your brain. Honestly speaking, when I thought about this topic and I thought about every single thing I wanted to share with you on this podcast episode, and this was just the topic that was coming to my mind, I thought to myself, of all the topics, why this? But you get, yeah, although the word unfuck is actually a vulgar word, but it means to undo an act. Yeah, it means to undo an act. It also means the word unfuck. Yeah, it also means to correct or fix a mistake or a problem. When people use the F word, they mean that somebody has messed up, somebody has, so this is the UF word. All right. All right, no problem, that's fine. So let's see how to, how to unfuck our brain. Yeah, so the whole idea of this particular episode is because you see, number one, I see a lot of people, they have a wrong mindset towards things. Like just yesterday, I had to correct an impression that somebody reposted something on social media, and she made a post, and what she reposted stated, and it was the guy that made the post that she reposted, and the guy said that if a lady stays with you, yeah, if a lady stays with you when you're struggling, when you have money in the future, you should be careful of her because she's after your future money. And I'm like, why would you even be thinking of, like, how will somebody even think of such? It doesn't really make sense at all. If you tell me, okay, if a lady stays with you through your tough times, when you have money, she's real, she's not a gold digger, that makes sense. You get, not turning and twisting the whole thing around. And you see, this is what most people are exposed to on social media. They get a lot of baggages, they get a lot of things, and they're wrong with it. So please, as much as it is within your power, be careful of the things that you read. Be careful of the things that you assimilate. Be careful of the things that you take into your mind. Because the truth is, that stuff, like I had to correct that. That stuff sounds silly. In fact, the way like I tagged it nonsense talk. Like really, it's actually a nonsense talk. It doesn't make sense. But do you know that there are people that believe it? In fact, the person that reposted it had believed it. That's how I saw it. If the person did not repost it, I wouldn't have seen it. So a lot of people, a lot of pained, hurting, depressed people are online posting nonsense. So please be careful of the things that you feed yourself with. Okay? Be careful of the things that you feed yourself with. Because not everything you see or you read online is true. Falsehood has a way of disguising as truth. But truth will always remain truth. As long as it is void of fear, as long as it is void of compromising your standards, truth will remain truth. I know there are other mindsets. People, there are some men that believe that when they become the father of the home, it is not their responsibility to raise kids. If you have this mindset, welcome to this podcast session. If this is your mindset and you believe that as a man, it is not your responsibility. Yeah, it is not your responsibility as a man to actually raise kids. It is the responsibility of your wife. Well, allow me to tell you that 80% of people in prison are men, and these men came from a home. Allow me to also tell you that the reason why some countries are having leadership problems is because their leaders are men, and these men grew up from a home. Allow me to also tell you that 60% of suicide rates in the world is men, and these men grew up from homes. Allow me to also tell you that 70% of young men that grew up in Africa grew up because of an absentee father. You just can't take away the place of a man in a home. You can't. The father has a huge responsibility. The father is not just the head. You see, maybe you think that, okay, because you are the head. You see, in Africa, there is this mindset that a leader is the boss. No. So you feel like, okay, if you're the head, you do whatever you like. No. Are you aware that the man is actually the foundation of the home and not just the head? As a man, you are the foundation. Look at the plant family, for example. The first thing that enters the ground is what? The seed. So between the man and the woman, who gives the seed? It is the man. The man is the seed. The man enters. The seed goes into the soil first. Then the tree comes up and then it starts bearing fruit. The tree is the one that has the ability to bear fruit. That's what the wife does. Then the fruit are not the children. So I want you to correct that mindset, yeah? Correct it. It's not wrong. It's not right. So now I said all of this mindset here. There's a particular grip on the mind, and this is the grip of porn. Yeah, this is the grip of porn. Research has shown that internet porn and tobacco have the same effect on your brain. So let's talk about the effect of porn on your brain. Now, please don't say you are not watching porn, because if you are an elder brother, okay, if you are an elder sibling and you have younger siblings, especially if they are guys, in the world that we live in right now, our parents may not, your parents did not have access to your phone. Even you put password, you know how to hide these things. Yeah. When I was young, I had porn on my phone, but my mom would check my phone, she would not find it. I hope she's not hearing me, because because currently I came to visit my parents while I'm staying in their house right now. So I hid everything. I knew the folders to hide, and I knew how to name them. Okay. So your younger siblings, you need to be there for them. Check their phones. Have conversations with them about these things. Don't believe that they will get it all right. No. You need to be there for them. You need to help them. Talk to them about these things. Don't be shy about talking to it with your younger brother or even your cousins. Okay. So what are the 7 effects of porn on your brain? There are 7 effects that porn has on our brain. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And then we would also talk about what to do to actually unfuck our brain from porn. Porn has messed up our brain, so how can we correct it? How can we correct the damage that porn has made on our brain? Number one, excess chemicals. Now there are 4 chemicals that are being released into your brain that are being excreted, or should I say secreted into your brain when you watch porn, and your brain begins to accommodate these chemicals. These chemicals are actually hormones. They are actually hormones. What are they? Number 1, you have dopamine. Number 2, you have serotonin. Sorry, I didn't study science, but please forgive my pronunciation. Number 3, you have oxytocin, and number 4, you have epinephrine. Yeah, so dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and epinephrine. So what does these 4 hormones do to the body? The first one, which is dopamine. Dopamine is a feel-good hormone. Okay, and when there's a high excretion of dopamine, it increases, it leads to high libido. I think we should have a session about talking about. We should definitely have a podcast episode on libido. Okay, we will. So with dopamine, it releases. The high excretion of dopamine leads to high libido. It leads to anxiety. It increases anxiety when it's released too much into your brain. Dopamine also leads to difficulty in sleeping. High excretion of dopamine into your brain leads to difficulty in sleeping. It also leads to an increased energy. And dopamine is also responsible for stress. Now, when your brain feeds on porn, this is the hormone that is released into your brain, into your body. Okay, your libido, it gets high, anxiety, and you get to realize that people, on a long run, people get to experience difficulty in sleeping. Why? Not because they were probably working, all through the night, or no. They've given, most times watching porn happens at night. So you can see what some people are actually doing to themselves. You can see what we do to ourselves when we watch porn. And their energy is being increased at night, and it now leads to stress. Now the second hormone that is being excreted into our brain is serotonin. Serotonin is a hormone that is responsible for your mood, and is also responsible for sleep, digestion, nausea, and sexual desire. So these are the things that are being stirred up while you're watching porn. Your mood is being altered. It's being altered. Your sexual desire is being altered. You're activating nausea. What should be causing you to be digesting food, you're now digesting porn. You're now digesting porn. All right, then the next hormone is oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love hormone. Yeah, it is the love hormone, and it is increased. And it is increased during erection. So when you're watching porn, oxytocin is released into your brain. Then when you now have an erection, it is now increased. Of course, when you have an erection while watching porn, what happens next is masturbation. Yeah, it's masturbation. And oxytocin one of the things that oxytocin does to your body is it increases your sexual activity. So you see why masturbation becomes like a default response. Yes, because your sexual activity at that point, you just want to have sex, and then the only way to satisfy yourself is to begin checking your private part. And again, empathy, oxytocin leads to empathy. So you are able to you become empathic with the people that you are watching. Trust. Oxytocin is responsible for trust. You begin to trust what you're watching. Now, the next thing I'm about to say is about to shock you. Oxytocin is also responsible for building relationship. That's the hormone responsible for building relationship. Now, when this happens, rather than building relationship with, maybe you have a girlfriend or maybe you have a spouse, rather than porn helping you to build relationship with, because oxytocin, when released, it is meant to help you build relationship with somebody, but now it is being released when you are watching porn. So who are you building relationship with, and who are you building trust with? Not with your spouse, but with the people that you are watching. You're building a relationship with pornography. You're building a relationship and you're trusting what you are seeing. When I was struggling with porn, I trusted Chinese ladies. And I began to grow this desire for Chinese or Asian ladies. Because why? At that point, I loved watching, you see, I enjoyed and I loved watching them. And guess what? Not just that I grew an affinity and I had an attraction to Asian ladies, I also got an attraction to lesbian porn. So it increased my, automatically I found myself enjoying the company of lesbians. At a point, I was even trying to date lesbians. Like, can you imagine what is happening? Can you imagine what happens to us? That's it. So you see, there's some people that go on porn sites and they enjoy watching gay porn. And you see, it changes their sexual orientation. It does. Think about it. What if I was attracted to gay porn? My sexual orientation would have automatically changed. But thank God it didn't. Thank God I never got attracted to gay porn. At that point, and you see, that's why you get to wonder. Some guys would bring two girls and they will have a threesome, and they're not even having sex with them, but they're just watching them have the sex. Why? Because they have built relationship with what they have seen. And most of them begin to trust. You see, so they begin to trust what they've seen more than building trust with their relationship, with their spouses. Rather. Number 4, the fourth hormone that is being released into your brain is epinephrine. Now, the epinephrine is also known as the adrenaline hormone. So now think about this. You know what happens to your body when you feel hyperactive, high level of glucose, when you're running, that's when you're running or when you're doing exercise, the adrenaline hormone, epinephrine, has been excreted, has been released into your brain. So you feel like doing a whole lot of things. You're energized, you're energetic. So, but imagine how porn is doing this to you right now, and constantly feeding on this. You see, this is one reason why some persons eventually get to rape people. See, the truth is, some of the rape cases that we've had, that we've recorded, it is because somebody just finished watching porn. Trace it. Don't worry, I'm going to give people the statistics. I'll give you the statistics. Some of the rape cases, 50% of the rape cases has shown that the rapists just finished watching porn within 24 hours. Within 24 hours. 50%. 50% of the rape cases shows that the rapist just finished watching porn within 24 hours. That's something. So you see, and beyond these chemicals being released into your brain begins to accommodate it. Now the second effect, number two, the second effect that porn has on your brain is that it makes you dependent. Dependency. You become dependent on these chemicals. You become dependent on these hormones. Now, you want more of these hormones. But guess what? In the initial process, you go from wanting more of these hormones and then you begin needing these hormones to the point that you cannot do without it. That's when it gets to an addiction. So when you hear that somebody's addicted to porn, it is that need that has been caused by these hormones. That's why I started by saying that internet porn and tobacco has the same effect on your brain. Number three, what is the third effect of porn on your brain? Number three, it prevents happiness. Porn prevents happiness. Twice as many people who watch porn have severe clinical depression. That's the truth. Some of the persons that I know, and at one point in their life they were depressed. When you ask them what's wrong with you, they will tell you they don't know. They don't know means when they say that they don't know, they're actually being genuine and sincere. There's no reason for their depression, but they are depressed. Trace their recent activities. You would find porn in it. You would definitely find porn in it. Because now, of course, porn users usually feel lonely and easily depressed. Why? Because by the time you are done watching porn and masturbating, do you know what happens next? You start feeling high. You see, in fact, it happens while you are watching the porn. You start wishing and desiring that there's somebody there to satisfy you. So when you realize that there's nobody to satisfy you, okay, you begin, the loneliness graduates into self-satisfaction. Then from there, when you're done masturbating, you now at that point where you feel like you just came and you just took a deep breath and you exhaled, everything has finished. The desire and the interest has gone. It has gone. So what has it left you with? What has it left you with? It has left you with the same thing that happens to tobacco addicts once the effects of tobacco clears from their brain. They come back to reality and they realize that it was just a fantasy. That's where depression sets in. It starts gradually and you realize, you're back to your normal life. Because you know that you cannot be doing this. That period, what dopamine did to you, they feel good. It made you feel good. And after you came, you're back. Number 4, The fourth effect of porn on your brain is that it alters your behavior. It alters your behavior. Now, how does it alter your behavior? Negative perception, negative attitudes, and aggression towards sex is as a result of porn. How do I mean? Let's start with aggression towards the opposite sex. The aggression towards ladies, On the porn side, there are, of course, now, there are some extreme acts, and some guys go there. Some of you, maybe yourself, you go there and you begin to watch and you begin to enjoy that part. You watch how they are flogging the lady, maybe beating her ass, these things, how they are dragging and all. So that aggression that you're seeing there, it makes you crave and desire for it. So that's why you can see somebody would want to rape and would even consider raping a lady because he has seen that because what you watch on porn is not love making. It is not. Some of them are aggressive. It's not love making. It's not love making. And truth be told, guys, we don't know how to make love. A woman is in a better position to teach us how to make love. I think let me write that down. We are going to have a podcast session on how to make love. And I'm going to have a woman on that session. But please, let me just give a disclaimer. That session will only be for married couples. It will only be for married couples, and it's actually going to be a paid session. Yes, it's going to be for married couples. It won't be, it's going to be for married couples. So just in case you're listening to this podcast and then you're married, you can send me an email so that you would be updated and you'll be notified when that podcast session will be up. My email is anaiyan01@gmail.com, or just send an email to judaspride2@gmail.com. Anaiyan, spelled ANAIYANG01. Number, not the alphabet, 01@gmail.com, or judaspride2, JUDAHPRID, then number 2, just 2@gmail.com. So you can send us an email that you would like to be notified, okay, about that. So that's that. Okay, so back to what I was saying here. So some of us guys, we don't know how to make love. Actually, we just rush in, we don't rush in and we rush out. That's all. No. And so sometimes when your libido has increased and your sexual urge has increased and you just want it. See, we call it conge. There are many words for sexual urges. Some people call it conge. So when conge is doing you, all you want is just want to sex. That's all you're thinking of. Why? Because that's what you were watching. It changes your attitude and it gives you a negative perception. So you begin to have a negative perception about some ladies. Really, because porn really messed with my brain. One of the negative perception that it gives you Let me just show you what of the negative perception that it gives you, that you begin to perceive that every lady is for sex. Every lady is for sex, and you just want to have sex with them, and your attitude changes. You become sensual, extremely sensual. You become touchy. We've been on this. Let's move. Let's move to number 5. I think I've spent time on this already. Let's move to number 5. The fifth effect that porn has on your brain is that it ruins relationship. Porn will ruin your relationship. Now, I like, when I mean relationship, I mean a relationship that you're probably heading towards marriage, not those nonsense boyfriend, girlfriend, and all. Not that I'm saying it is wrong, you get. But honestly speaking, if you're not making plans to get married within 2 or 3 years, trust me, you have no point being in a relationship. Like I don't get, what are you dating somebody for 5 whole years for? Where are you people going out to? Let us go out, and you're still going out for 5 years. Keep, like, you're a guy and you're going out with a girl for 5 years. Where are you taking her to? Oh, you people have been going out since. Are you not tired? Are you not tired? Get married already. What is it? No, see, I'm not saying there are people that, they date, then they go into courtship, then they marry. But your own, there's some guys that they've not even moved from dating into. If you told me, okay, we dated for 2 years, and then the 4th or the 3rd year we are now doing courtship, understood. But some people, they don't even have plans of even doing courtship. Your parents don't even know yourself. You plan just doing hide and seek, having sex. Guy, how far now? How far? Save the young girl. Save her. Pico, save her. If you don't have plans on getting married to her, there's no point keeping her waiting. Don't keep her waiting. Release her. Somebody will see her and marry her. Stop keeping her from. Okay, let's move on. So it will ruin relationship. Yes, I'm talking about serious relationship here. Even married couples. How does porn ruin relationships? Yeah. Number 1, it is going to decrease your interest in real relationship, and porn will and your interest and appetite for more porn will be increased. That's it. Number 2 is that porn is responsible for 300% infidelity in the world. Trust me, I was blown away by these statistics when I did a research. 300% of infidelity. I had been asking myself for a long time, why do some men cheat on their wives? And I got to find out that pornography is responsible for it. Because porn will increase marital infidelity. Because all those things you're watching, you will now realize that your wife is not giving you. You start looking outside, and one small girl would be 50% of people involved in cyber sex eventually lose interest in sex with a loved one. That's the truth. Right now, I'm giving you statistics from my research. 56% of divorces involve at least one of the people having an obsessive interest in pornography website. Can you now see that infidelity and divorce? You can trace some of them back to porn. It will ruin your relationship, trust me. it will ruin your relationship, especially if you're in a relationship with a young girl that you intend to get married to, and she's telling you no sex. And please, if a girl tells you no sex until marriage, you need to respect it. In fact, you should don't get threatened that the girl has standards. You should also have your own standards as well. If she wants to keep her body until marriage, you should also keep your erection until marriage. Keep your erection inside your trouser until marriage. Have that standard as well. There's nothing wrong with having standards. And stay away from porn. I'm sorry to say, but let me just let you know this truth. Yeah, I know somebody. There's okay. We are not that close. Okay, but in one of his relationship, the lady he was dating told him no sex. That if he's serious about her, he should wait until they are married. And guess what Oga did? Oga said, okay, since she's not giving him sex, he should satisfy his appetite and his desire for sex. What was he doing? He was watching porn. That was how he actually started watching porn. And he did that because his friends advised him to do that. Be careful of the people you listen to. Not every advice you get is correct. By the time we get to how to unfuck your brain, I'll tell you what to do about some of these informations you get. And the young man started watching porn. That's how he was introduced to watching porn. Why? Because his girlfriend said, now this was even like his third relationship. His girlfriend said no sex until marriage. Guess what happened? Just guess. While the young man was, while he was watching porn, thinking that he would use the porn, he would use the porn to calm himself down until they get married. That's how the desire began to build up. He did not ask the girl for sex anymore. And by watching porn, he didn't just watch porn alone. He started sleeping with other girls. That was how the young girl caught him cheating in one of a strange occasion. She caught him cheating and that relationship ended. Now look at the effects, because we usually look at the effect but we don't look at the cause. Can you see where it all started from? He wouldn't have cheated on her. Now this guy was usually faithful in his past relationships. Of course, because they were giving him sex, so he was faithful, but it did not last eventually. But for this particular one, he just couldn't keep himself. So he was deceived that porn would make him abstain. Porn will not make you abstain from having sex. Rather, porn will ruin your relationship, and porn will increase your desire for sex. Number 6. The 6th effect that porn has on our brain is that it limits our success. Porn will limit your success. Yes. Porn will limit your success. According to research, 58% of porn addicts suffer major financial loss, and 1/3 of porn addicts lose their jobs. Why? You would be asking why. Let me tell you why. There's a part of your brain called the frontal lobe. Yeah. And that area of your brain is responsible for making decisions and logical thinking. Of course, we've been told that men are more logical and women are more emotional. But guess what? Women are becoming both emotional and logical. Men are becoming less men are not even building their emotional part of their brain, and they are also becoming less logical. Why? Because of porn. Your frontal lobe, that area of your brain which is responsible for making decisions and logical thinking through situations, and scenarios, they are affected because you've spent much more of your time consuming porn. So all your thinking of your logical reasoning, everything is porn. That is why somebody who is dealing with porn, when you stop watching porn for the first year, for the first 12 months, after you stop watching porn, all the images will play back. That's the truth. Even the people that have not started dealing with their porn addiction, when they are in their office and they are not watching porn, guess what is happening? See, your mind is powerful, your brain is powerful. It starts replaying porn. It starts replaying, so that you can be thinking of something. Yes, you can replay things. You can replay scenes in your head. You had a quarrel with somebody and you can replay everything. You can sit back and think about it. What really happened in this situation? The same thing happens with porn. You can sit down and then you're thinking, you're replaying every scene. So you now have porn on replay in your brain. This is how it affects productivity. It affects your level of productivity because your thinking pattern is now being directed by porn. So you see people, they are now walking on the road. The moment they see a young girl, they have the super ability to not just undress them. Some people have gone beyond undressing people in their eyes, but on the road, see, there are some guys that are having sex on the road in their mind, though. You don't know. They just walk past and then they see a young girl. In their mind, they've already had sex with a girl. So you can see somebody is driving, next is having an erection. See, So you see, and then you now wonder why some guys are not productive at work, why some guys are having financial issues. The same brain that they should be using to be thinking about business ideas, about ideas to upgrade and build their career, they are spending time thinking on replay and replaying the porn that they had watched. Number 7, the 7 effects that porn has on your brain is that it changes your belief. Now this particular one is very, very strong. It changes your belief. Yeah. You begin to have an exaggerated perception of sexual activity in the society. So at this point, you begin to think that every lady wants sex. You begin to feel like every girl is for sex. So you now find out why a young girl will walk into an office and is seeking for a job, and the HR that is employing, has already slept with. He has finished sleeping with all the female staff there, and every young girl that is coming, he wants to sleep with them. That man has been on porn. So he now feels that every young girl that he sees is for sex. And that's wrong. That's very wrong. Again, one of the experience that you would have with a change of belief system is that you begin to lose trust if you are married. See, there's a high tendency that trust level will reduce between intimate couples. Remember, the hormone that is responsible for trust, which is the love hormone, oxytocin, which is supposed to be fostering the trust between you and your partner. You're engaging it in porn. You're engaging in porn, and then your belief system is changing. Why? Because see, some of the porn movie that you watch, they will portray married women having sex with other people. So you start thinking, my wife may be doing something somewhere. Start suspecting her. It's a lie. You are the problem, not her. You are the problem. See, every issue of distrust started with the person having the trust issues, not with the other person. Once upon a time, there was a young guy, and he and his girlfriend, the lady he was courting here, they had planned to get married in a particular year, and his friends started telling him, guy, you need to hurry up and engage this girl, see how she's fine and all, guys will be rushing her and everything. The lady was so faithful to him. So because his friends were telling him that, he began to be afraid that he might lose this girl if he doesn't act fast. So he started thinking of all of those things, and he started wondering, he started being intentional and thinking, where is she going to? He became overprotective. His trust started reducing. You see why I said earlier on that you need to be careful of the people you spend your time with. Oh, really? You need to be careful of the people that you spend your time with. Because you see, there's something about words, when people speak to you, what satisfies the mind as much as fruit satisfies the stomach. And good talk is as gratifying as a good harvest. But guess what? Words also kill, and words also give life. They are either poison or they are fruits. It's your choice to make. So be careful of the people, be careful of your association. Remember the other guy I spoke about earlier on, that his friends led him to watching porn. So it's the same thing. Porn would reduce trust level among intimate couples. Another thing that porn does in changing your belief system is that you begin to think that abstinence from sex and sexual inactivity are unhealthy. Let me share a secret with you. Don't tell anybody this. This should stay between me and you. Okay? Alright. So I'm going to tell you. 95% of the people that believe that they must have sex before married have watched porn. Shocking, right? 95% of the people that believe that they must have sex, that they must, not they should, that they must have sex before marriage, they've watched porn. Why? Because they no longer believe, like they now believe that abstaining from sex and sexual inactivity is unhealthy. They believe that you should test the waters. You should test the water. That's rubbish. Do you know why I call you rubbish? Do you know why I call you rubbish? This is the reason why I call you rubbish. I'll tell you the reason why I call you rubbish. Number one, The lady is not yours. She's not yet married to you. And yet you want to have sex with her. Why? If you want to unbutton her shirt, you should be willing to pay her bride price. Because there's a price for everything. You cannot enter somebody, like, how will you enter somebody's shop, somebody's business, and carry his product, and eat it, and leave the shop without paying for it? The person used money invested in that product. So I'm a businessman, so this example will just pop up. The person used his money to invest in that product. You entered the shop, took it, and you left. That's criminal. That's robbery. That's thievery. That's theft. You stole from the businessman. That's it. So you see, a man somewhere has raised his daughter, bought her clothes to wear, clothed her, paid money, gave her shelter, fed her, invested in her to go to good school, to one of the best schools, and you stole her. You stole her. Because that fruit is not yours to take. Yet, if you want to have her, go and pay her dowry, go and pay her bride price. See, stolen bread tastes sweet. That's the truth. Every stolen bread tastes sweet, but soon your mouth will be filled with gravel. No, but you reason it now. Reason it. What will happen if her father or her mother walks in on both of you? Gang gang. That is why sometimes you hide to have the sex. You lock your door. You do all those things. So, enough of the thievery. Stop stealing somebody's product. Okay, but can you think about this? Think about this for 1 second. Okay, think about this. How will you feel 5 years? Okay, 5 years is even too small, self. 20 years from now, how will you feel when you realize that a young man is virgin your daughter and he has not paid her bride price? They are doing boyfriend, girlfriend, and he is virgin your daughter. How will you feel? I thought so. Or how will you even feel if you heard that he raped her? Because some of the ladies that lose their virginity did not lose it willingly. They were cajoled. Some of them were drugged. Some of them were misled. And they regretted the act at first. So how will you feel that your young daughter lost her virginity before marriage? Think about it. What you wouldn't want to be done to you, don't do it to somebody else. Don't. Alright, so we are still in belief system. Let's wrap up here. Of course, you also believe that sexual promiscuity is normal. Okay, you begin to lose hope. You know, this is part of your belief system that changes. You begin to lose hope for sexual monogamy. What's sexual monogamy? Sexual monogamy means you do not have any other sexual partner apart from your wife. I not say girlfriend, apart from your wife. But you begin to lose hope for sexual monogamy. Why? Because in that porn that you're watching, you're seeing twosome, threesome, and the rest. You now feel like, I think I should not have sex with somebody else. That's how the thought of infidelity enters. All right, of course, I think I've already spoken about it already. The cynicism about love, on the need for affection between partners, distrust. You begin to distrust your partner. So, how to unfuck your brain? How to unfuck your brain? How to get this porn out of your brain? Now, if you've gotten to this point and you want to unfuck your brain, especially from porn, you need to be ready to seek for help. Like I always say, you can only be helped when you realize and you recognize that you need help. Yeah, and you should also be ready to engage your mind with something else. So, 8 ways to unfuck your brain. 8 ways to unfuck your brain. Number 1, get a mentor. Get a mentor. A lot of people do not really know what mentorship is. Yeah, the truth is, without good direction, people lose their way. Without good direction, people lose their way. And the more wise counsel, the more wise advice you follow, the better your chances to succeed. When you refuse good advice, you watch your plans fail. When you refuse good advice, you watch your goals fail. When you refuse good advice, you watch your life deplete. But when you take good advice and good counsel, you watch your plans succeed and you watch yourself succeed. One of the ways to form your purpose in life is by asking for counsel and advice. Then carry it out using all the help you can get. See, a mentor is different from a role model. Some people say, I have a mentor, and you've never spoken with your mentor. You don't speak with your mentor frequently, at least once a week, or once in 2 weeks, or once in 3 weeks, or once a month. You should always speak with your mentor. Always speak with your mentor. Not your mentor is not somebody you admire. If you do not have somebody in your life that can call you to order, you're heading for a cliff. Your mentor is that person that should be able to call you to order. Else you'll be heading for a wreck. Some people run away from mentorship. Why? Because they don't want to be accountable. One of the things that your mentor will do for you, your mentor will ask you, okay, yeah, you had plans. The last time we spoke, you said you had plans to do this and this. How has it gone? And you've not done it. So you just don't want to, report yourself. People don't like reporting themselves. But actually, that's what mentorship does. But it is not just about reporting yourself. Your mentor will now find that, okay, we only pay attention to the disadvantages of this. We don't look at the advantages. Your mentor will now find, okay, what is wrong? Why weren't you able to do it? Okay, rather than doing it this way, try it this way. Of course, you'll be reprimanded, you'll be chastised, you'll be rebuked. But you'll be also advised and encouraged and supported to achieve that goal. That's the truth. Okay, you were not able to do it this way. Try doing it this way instead. This way was overwhelming for you. Try it this way. That's it. This is the second quarter of the year. Most of us started with plans and goals for the year. When every year begins, I submit my plans to my mentor. See, I don't even travel to anywhere without letting my mentor know, without letting all my mentors know that I'm traveling. That's it. If there are people, see, when you misbehave at home, if there are people that your wife needs that assurance and that guarantee that there are people that she can run to, that can talk to you. You see all these men that end up being being wife beaters and engaging in domestic violence is because they lack mentorship. Because no, really, tell me exactly why a man would slap his wife the first time and nothing was done about it and she had nobody to report. For the sake of your future children, have a mentor. Have somebody you submit to. Being meek is your ability to be open to submission. And submission will put you in check. When you can submit your life to somebody, when you can submit your life to somebody, you would have the power. You will have the power to excel beyond your peers. That's the truth. That's the truth. See, I know people that we have the same age, and some of them have gotten married. Some of them are not even thinking of a relationship. Some are about to get married. Don't worry, don't bother about where I am yet. You'll hear soon. Now, the difference between these people that are in the same age is mentorship. Because your mentor has the ability to push you beyond where you are. Your mentor has the ability to push you beyond where you are. Your mentor is like a ladder. So you're struggling with porn and you need to upgrade, you need to advance your victory over porn. You need to deal with this thing as fast as possible. Your mentor would become a ladder. And if you're getting a mentor, okay, you can get a mentor for different areas of your life. You can get a career mentor, a leadership mentor, a business mentor, a relationship or a marriage mentor. You get. But for something as sensitive, you can also have a life mentor. Okay. For something as sensitive as this, you need a life mentor, and that's what I'm talking about. Because you cannot share your personal struggles with your career mentor. Neither can you share your personal struggles with your business mentor. You need a life mentor. Recently, when I was growing up, okay, not back, like about when I started getting mentors, I got mentors for different areas of my life. But right now, all my areas have access, all my mentors rather have access to my life. They are all my life mentors. So that's why I said I can't even take a decision without letting them know. Because I have realized, back then they came into my life for a particular reason. And now I've realized that where I'm going to in the future, every single one of them, they fit into that picture. They fit into that picture. If at any point in my life I think of cheating on my wife, before she even reports me, I'll carry myself and go and report myself. Because I know I need help. That's the truth. When I was about to move out of my parents' house, I had to speak with one of my mentors. He told me how he did it, and I was able to do it. You see, I did not need to struggle and make and think of how I'll do, ease. It became easy. Mentors make things easy for you because you leverage on their experiences. That's it. Should I say this? Okay, let me say it. It was easy for me to get into a relationship when I said I was going to get into a relationship. And it was also easy for me to stay away from a relationship when I said I was going to stay away from a relationship. Let's move on. Number 2, accountability partner. Get an accountability partner. Get an accountability partner. Now your mentor is somebody who is more knowledgeable, more experienced, and in some cases, more advanced in age than you. Okay? And please, guys, don't go and get a female mentor. Get a male mentor. Now, this part of accountability, don't make the mistake of having a female accountability partner. Never. Don't even try yourself. And if you're doing bestie, see, I don't get bestie. Like how? And let me just say this: when you get married and you are keeping many female friends, your wife would be suspicious, number 1. Number 2, she will be threatened. And I won't even advise you to have a best friend as a female. See, there's really nothing wrong with it, okay? There is nothing wrong with it, but question, what does your wife think about it? See, what does your wife think about it? What will she think about it? Don't say it's your life at all. Hey, no. Don't jeopardize your relationship in the future because of that. Don't do that. Relationship and emotions are stirred by proximity and communication. So if you have a female bestie, like, what secrets do you even keep? A small thing happen between you and your babe, you run to her. Before you know, bestie has turned to side chick. Accountability partner. Have a male accountability partner. Please have a male accountability partner. Okay. See, there's something that happens to me. More often than not, whenever sexual urges comes and I get to the point that I cannot control myself again, I have my accountability partner. So I call them my covenant brothers. Okay, they're like brothers. They're not like, in fact, they are brothers to me. Quickly, I just pick up my phone and just chat one of them and say, "Guy, sweet thing they do me, conchi don't come, and we just talk. They just the same thing happens to them." When we are in our low, your accountability partner is meant to help you up when you're in your low moments and in your down moment. Last year I messed up big time. I did something that I messed up. I sent them a message. Every single one. They just, they had to reprimand me and rebuke me. See, your accountability partner should be able to rebuke you. That's what I mean. They should be able to rebuke you, advise you, lift you up again, and check you. And say, "Guy, remember, don't do this again. Don't." That's it. See, you use steel to sharpen steel. And that's how a friend sharpens another friend. That's it. Friends come and friends go, but a true friend sticks by you like family. Ensure you get an accountability partner. Number 3, read books. There's a book I would like to recommend for you to read, especially if you're struggling with one. So the title of the book is Your Brain on Porn by Gary Wilson. Go and look for the book and read. Read books. Attend conferences. we as guys, we barely attend conferences that are tailored towards helping us. Embrace these things. I have other podcast episodes that talks about dealing with porn. Consume these materials for yourself. Consume these materials for yourself. It's a way of distracting yourself. Really, it's a way of distracting your mind. Then number 4, when your mind, the fourth way to unfuck your brain, yeah. When your mind starts wandering off, maybe you're in the office and you're thinking, and you notice that your mind starts wandering off to this sex scene. Think on paper. Number 4, think on paper. Just carry like I do it most often than not, yeah. Just get a pen and paper and write down what you're thinking. Write down what am I thinking of? Like, why am I thinking of this thing? How do I feel? Do I want to continue thinking about this thing? You're asking yourself and you're answering. Asking yourself and you're answering. Then from there, you will just realize that once you're able to address that particular thoughts, you can change your thought. It's okay. Let's think about something else. What do I want to think about? Business. What's happening? Oh, what do I want to think about? Career. I want to think about career. I want to think about this. You write it, and when you're writing, you're thinking, and you're thinking on your paper. It's a principle I learned from Brian Tracy. Think on paper. You see, like I said earlier, most persons lose their job or they become unproductive because their minds are wandering off. Bring back your mind. Bring back the focus of your mind. Control your mind. Don't allow your thoughts to control you. You have the ability to control your thoughts. That's why it is called your thoughts. Control where they go to. Think on paper. Write down your thoughts as often as possible. As often as possible. Number 5, exercise often. Exercise often. You see, the reason why you need to exercise often is because you see that epinephrine hormone, the adrenaline hormone that was secreted into your brain, and dopamine, the feel-good hormone, which also increases energy. It is in your body. You need to release it. You need to release it, and not just by releasing it. Sometimes it is when we are idle. You get it. It is when we are idle that we just engage in porn. When people are idle, you just find that they have nothing to do. They are watching porn. Why? Because those energy is there. So when you exercise, okay, you're not doing exercise to be, it may not be, the goal of the exercise is not to build body so that you will not say you're tired. No, they go and sign up in a gym class or jog, early morning jog, very early in the morning jog. What you're doing is that you're releasing that energy. You're releasing that energy. Number 6, join a community. Join a community. There are communities that help people, yeah. There are communities that you can join and you become productive. Number 1, there are communities that help people that are struggling with porn. There are communities that help that are created just for men. Like I have a community. Like I started a community, that's what I mean. And the community is called The Real Conversation. Yeah, The Real Conversation. So we talk about everything that concerns guys. When people have questions, they come on board, they ask. That's where you get real life solutions to real life problems. And there are other communities. Find a community and join a community. It could be a business community, it could be any community. Just find a community and join one. Make yourself productive. Number 7, make use of apps. Make use of mobile applications. I would recommend Covenant Eyes. If you're struggling with porn, there are some applications that you can install in your phone, and it is going to block porn. It will block your access from watching porn. Covenant Eyes is one of them. Try it. Then finally, number 8, the 8th way to unfuck your brain. I just thought about something right now. Okay. It's well. Sometimes we get carried away by a lot of things, and we just realize, did we just do this? Sometimes people watch porn, Sometimes people watch porn not because they planned to watch the porn. You'll find somebody who is probably dealing with the addiction to porn, and he just finds himself, he has watched the porn. He did not plan it, and he starts feeling bad. And beyond that, there are people that, their mind is so dirty because of the things that they've watched, the things they've fed on, perverse and all. So number 8 way. Truth is, I don't know about your religion. But you see, number 8 way to unfuck your brain is to renew your mind. So here's what I want you to do, and God helping you. Take your everyday ordinary life. You're sleeping, you're eating, you're going to work, you're walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God, and you'll be changed from the inside out. Readily recognize what He wants from you and quickly respond to it. Unlike the culture around you, always dragging you down to its level of immaturity, God brings the best out of you, and He develops a well-formed maturity in you. And here's the conclusion of the whole matter. If you are matured, if your mind is matured, you will not feed on porn. That's the truth. So thank you very much for listening to this podcast episode. 2 Fridays from now, we will be starting a relationship and personal development series called How I Met My Wife. I'm so excited, I'm so excited. All the guest speakers for that series, it's going to run through 12th of August till September. It's going to run 5 Fridays. So all the speakers have been confirmed and they are ready. The series is titled How I Met My Wife. How I Met My Wife. You shouldn't miss it. Trust me. We're going to be having interactive conversations with married men, and we're going to be learning from them. Okay? This is the podcast where we talk about what nobody wants to talk about. You would hear a lot of things. You would learn also. Because you see, I see some young guys. They stay up to 30, 35, 40. There's once that we had a conversation, okay? And we got to realize that one of the reasons why some guys don't get married early. See, there's nothing wrong with not wanting to marry early. You get, but there's everything wrong when you have when we look at the goals that you're supposed to accomplish before you get married, and we are wondering, how come you've not accomplished some of these goals? There's a problem somewhere. And you get to realize that one reason is because some of these guys, they had been playing around. They've been flirting, messing around with young girls before they now realize, time has gone. Okay, yeah, this is when we should be getting married, but we cannot get married now because we are not ready. So that's when they now start leaving woman to focus on building their life after they've wasted how many years? Personal development is key. And then on the other angle, we see young men getting married, they are losing their temper, they are beating their wife, they don't know what they should have done before getting married, they just carried all their baggages and entered the marriage. No, you shouldn't suffer anybody's daughter. So you should work on yourself before that relationship. So How I Met My Wife is a relationship and personal development series that you don't want to miss. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Until I come your way again, I send my best regards to you. And I remain your host, AI. Cheers.